For those that don't know, I'm Ron Story. I am the head of product at SpeakerHub, and my job is to help speakers to get on more stages. Our primary, even though we work with everybody, I think the people we can help the most are uh, speakers, no matter what experience level, that are looking to get on more stages, right? They could be new, old, been around forever, just started, just getting back into it. We can help them the best, right? But also those who have already done the work. If you're a PhD, where you've already done the real research, so you're not going to be promoting a bunch of theory, we can help you take that doctoral information that you did that nobody's heard about since you defended your PhD and actually help you to get on the stage and get your research more exposure. Also, the entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur that has a product to sell and you understand that your advice is um, your main product, we can help you to establish yourself as a thought leader by getting on more stages. And finally, just like Lucia, educators. If you're a principal or vice principal or teacher who wants to make the transition from the classroom to teach more adults instead of just teaching kids, or maybe even demonstrate your expertise of the things you've learned in administration as a superintendent or an aspiring superintendent, aspiring principal, we can help you to establish that thought leadership so that when you go for those interviews, you stand out versus the person who's interviewing who's never done a TED talk, who's never been interviewed on podcasts, who's never really been looked at as a thought leader. And you're being able to kind of stand out um, when they're trying to make the decision. If all the apples are equal, the person who kind of has the edge is the one that has the aura of leadership, um, in my opinion. Now, that comes from a guy who's a bit biased because both of my parents were school teachers and educators, and I watched all of their friends matriculate from the classroom to principals to superintendents. And it wasn't that they were always the best, it was just that they were the best positioned. So we can help any of those four categories the best. Does that mean we can't help other people? No. But these are the ones I know because I'm an entrepreneur who, so I know that group. I'm a kind of new in the middle experience somewhere along the speaker spectrum, right? My parents come from education background, and I do a lot of research. I'm not a PhD or anything like that, but I do believe in helping people to promote the work that they've done. So, welcome. It is we go from 12 until 1 every day Eastern time, and we're here to answer any questions. I see we got a couple hands up. Um, so, John, what's your question, man? How can I help?
Yeah, thank you, man. I have a couple questions actually, but I can ask one and let others ask, however you want to do that. But first question I have, can I share my screen by chance?
Yep, it's $10. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay,
Go
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Put it on my tab. But yeah, I was inside of Speaker Hub Pro. I'm loving it, but I just had some questions around the branding kit. Yeah, I had a couple of questions, like I said, but when I was going through the podcast, and my understanding is that the AI features research in my bio and that one field, what is it called? How can I help on the branding kit section to determine or do some queries or filters for the podcast that are best for me.
Yep.
My question, I guess, is what are some of the best practices or how should I think about which ones to pitch to or not based on, I'm knowing that the AI did the query for me.
Okay. So go back to branding kit on the left, and let's just walk you through it, right? And click on
Mhm.
my brand, right? So there's your bio there that the AI wrote for you, but underneath there are topics. You see the second section says topics,
Right.
and you can add whatever topics you want. The AI
Okay.
suggested some topics for you, but you can add topics in there that you want. Now, here's what we have to be careful of. Imagine with Speaker Hub, one of our main frameworks is called the Speaker Flywheel, right? So if I put my topic in there as the Speaker Flywheel, we made that up. Like that's our framework.
Right.
So if I do a search for podcasts talking about the Speaker Flywheel, it's not going to find anything because that's our main framework.
Right.
So in my topics, I have to be broad enough to get the audiences that I want to be talking to on those subjects. So productivity is a topic that you should have there because mind mapping is a subset of productivity.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
If
yeah, yeah.
you talk to
Absolutely.
leaders about how they can use mind mapping, leadership should be a topic. Now, the topics don't have to be in the list. You can type whatever you want in and just click enter.
Got it.
Boom.
Like that.
Right?
Okay,
You can
cool.
enter your competition in there. Put your competition's name in there and go on all the podcasts they've been on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's what the topic section is about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it totally does. And
So so hold on. Let me walk you through it real quick. Right? So go back to podcast again.
mhm.
So when you click on different things, it's going to show, if you don't select anything, it's just going to keep randomizing and showing you new stuff because you didn't pick anything when you were on the page the first time because the AI is trying to learn what you're doing.
Got it, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
let me explain the two categories. There's podcast and there's episodes. Think of podcast as channels.
Okay.
ABC, CBS, Fox, ESPN, Disney Channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, ESPN is what type of channel?
Sports,
Sports. CNN is what type of channel?
news.
But do they cover sports sometimes?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So that's why the episodes are important because sometimes a channel may be generic and cover a little bit of politics, a little bit of business, a little bit of sports, a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of music. So the episodes allow you to search more deeply about what's being covered.
Oh
Does that
shit.
make sense?
Got one on there I was on.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you just go up to the type and type in your name, type in John Diggs, right? So you can find every episode you've ever been on. And sometimes it's important to go back and remind them that you've been on those episodes and say, hey, can I come back? I was on there 3 years ago. Can I come back this year and
Got
do
it.
another episode? But also look for your competition. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say your competition was Odell Bizel. He's not, but it's just an easy name that I know is
Yeah,
going
I
to bring
know Dale.
Odell Bizel, right? So now it brings up all the podcasts. It's two L's at the end,
Okay, yeah.
right? So now it brings up all the podcasts about speaking at colleges and things like that, which he's an expert at,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now
Got
I can just pitch them, and the AI is going to say, "Hey, I enjoyed your episode with Odell. My name is John Diggs, and I think on this topic I can help you in this area." Boom.
got it. Got it. Now, is there a perfect day or time that you recommend we pitch?
Anytime between 12 a.m. in the morning and 11:59 p.m.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Wanted to make sure I understood that. Uh,
All, you got to pitch. The
yeah.
question isn't about timing; it's about volume.
Okay. Got it.
Does
Got
that
it.
make
Got it.
sense?
Yeah.
Let me give you the greatest example. Think of it from if you were in a math class. What's
Mm-hmm.
the best time to study math? Is it better to study at 10 p.m. versus 10 a.m.? No, it just matters how many questions you do,
Mm-hmm.
right? The more questions you do, that's going to have a larger effect than what time of the day you're looking at the problems.
Got it.
Is that fair? So we
Yeah.
got to get the volume going. That's the one thing. Most
Right.
people
Numbers
don't fail
game.
at getting booked because they're doing some small thing wrong, is that they're not doing enough of the big thing,
Got it.
which is telling people that they exist. Most people just don't know you exist, John.
A numbers game. I get it. Now, quick question about these templates. I do see that we have default templates and my templates. When we go to actually pitch, is it going to give us the option on which template we want to send before we actually send it to the pitch?
So the default template is just what's there for you to build your template on top of,
Okay,
right?
got it.
Now, the AI will override this. So some people don't want to use artificial intelligence to write their pitches.
Right. Now, I've created my own. That's why I was just kind of asking, am I going to get an option to create my own?
Yep. So it looks like you already have one that's there that's yours, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, this is the one I made
if you
last night.
do you want to use the AI or not?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking. Like,
So
if I'm
yeah.
pitching.
But let me just walk you through it.
Okay.
So click on experts. And this is a good example of this. Click on experts, and you see that big head dude at the top? Add him to a list. And just add me to the default list there so we know where to find me. And click save, right? Now click pitch. So if you have AI on, it's going to automatically write the pitch for you, right? It's going to write a basic pitch for you to reach out to me, right? But up at the top above the subject line, you see something that says template. You see that template? Now drop in the one that you created. Boom.
Got it. Now,
Now, what we like to explain is that if you're not going to use the AI, save us a little bit of money by going and turning it off and just using your templates. But if you're going to use the AI, you want both options, let it run. But we would love for you to turn it off if you never plan on using those emails.
okay, got it. And that's where I was just kind of getting at. I think I'm gonna play with them a little bit and see what AI does when it does the research of the actual
Well,
podcast.
let me ask you this. Have you done outbound pitching before?
No, I mean
Okay.
not like
So
you.
do not lean on your own understanding. Trust the AI. We
Right.
sent 500,000 pitches last year for our done for you clients. That was the information that was used to train the AI. I can look at your template right now and tell you what's going to happen to that email. And Bart can look at it and tell you what's going to happen to it too.
Right.
Because Bart is sent enough to know that if I got to scroll on my phone to make a decision about you, I'm probably not going to pick you.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
in the emails, we're trying to sell the meeting, not sell the person.
Got it.
We're trying to sell, hey, meet with me and I'm worth it. Not, hey, let me convince you why I'm the best person in the world. Let me give you a great example of this. How many of y'all ever been on a date or asked somebody out on a date? Everybody, right? When you see someone at a coffee house and you say, man, she looks nice or he looks nice, I'm gonna go say something. You don't go over and say, hey, I'm John Diggs. You know, I'm a world-class salsa dancer. I used to be in the NFL. And this is my kid's name. This is my wife's name. And here's where I
Right.
live. And here's the car I drive. And here's my job. And here's why I went to college. They'll be like, you're a weirdo. Get away from me.
Right. I thought you wanted to know my FICO score though. I'm playing. I'm playing.
But that's the pitch you just wrote.
Right. Right.
You wrote that whole introducing, showing off your car, showing up to the bar in your scrubs so they know you're a doctor. You got
Right.
your income tattooed on your forehead.
Right.
You tap dancing your way in so they know you salsa dance. It's like, no. Don't be weird. Just ask if we're looking for speakers.
Right. I get it.
And if they're looking for speakers, then tap dance your way back over here and show me what you're doing. But if we ain't looking for speakers, that's too much for me to process.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Right?
That
So
makes sense.
here's our basic premise. Trust the system so you can get results. We know that the system gets results with just the basic AI. Then try to outperform the system.
Got it.
So imagine someone is a 7-year-old that's never played football before. And you're like, hey, son, I think you should catch the ball away from your body. But he don't want to listen to you. He keeps catching it with his face and his chest. And it's easy to catch a ball with your chest and your body if they throw an underhand to you. But the minute they throw a spiral, you're going to catch that ball with your nose and you're going to wish you listened to what John had instructed you to do.
Right.
Very similar situation.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
at the beginning, you're going to drop a few as they throw you those balls. And it's going to ding your fingers and everything. But you just got to stick with it and make adjustments. Now, I want Bart. I see he has his hands up. I want to show you what Bart did because Bart started with AI, got some results, saw the things that he liked from the AI, and then adjusted it and went to a template.
Yeah.
So Bart, if you want to kind of share that with them and then tell me what your question, and then John, we'll come back to you. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Let's see here. So I think you can see my screen. Try to make it a
Yep,
little
we
bit.
can see your screen. Yep.
Yeah. So what he said there, and I kind of, I mean, I definitely agree with Ron, but I agree from the very beginning about the bottom line up front because my time is important and I know theirs is as well. So let's see if I go to here. Is that a place? No, let's try this. Let's do this. So let's say this conference here. I'll add them to the list. And now I want to pitch. So I got to figure out how to turn the AI off because I really don't use it. First thing I do
We'll
is
show you how to use
I
it.
can
We'll
see
show you
it.
how to do that.
And then as soon as that finishes, now I guess it won't do this when I turn it off, John. I immediately go here and that's a conference. So I have all these things saved, even the follow-ups conference, right? So if this is a conference, then I'll come down here and I want you to speak in general or something in here, right? So now I have coordinated pre-type. What I do is come here, I highlight this of what it is. And then when I go back here, I'll just put that there. So it just says, your conference coordinator, congratulations on building that. Are you looking for speakers for your event? And usually I'll plug in here what their event is. Then it says who I am, what I do. I've added a little bit more. I have one that's shorter that I put in there. It depends on how I feel that day. You know, it says best regards. I come down here and I send. But I guess the thing to pay attention to is bottom line up front. Are you looking for speakers for that event or future ones? This is who I am. This is what I talk about.
Right. So let me show you how to turn this off. So go ahead and click on branding kit. Go to my brand. And then scroll all the way to the bottom. And it says AI writer. You can turn that off. The second orange thing. Yep. That's the one. Turn that off. Hit save.
Yeah, I'm leaving mine on.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
and I did
but
in the beginning.
He started
John,
off with that.
No, I started off with it,
two.
and I just took a compilation of 4 or 5 or so, and then I just made my own. But you see, I have several of them. It just depends on what I'm, how I feel when I'm. There's one where I don't really fill in the blank what those question mark was, and it's just I don't use that part at all. It just depends on how I feel and what I'm pitching to.
Now, quick question on those templates. I saw insert. Is that something
so
AI
that's not
is going to insert, or something I have
right now? You have to manually put the person's name in or insert the name of the event. That's what Bart was talking about.
Okay.
But that's one of the features that we're working on.
To merge that? Okay.
Because we already have them categorized and we know their names. We just didn't put the insert fields in there because we really want people using the AI. Right. So, but that's on the roadmap, and we should get Santiago in to kind of give a preview someday, Angela, of what's on the development cycle. I think that would be really cool because people can see how far out we've thought about these things. Mm-hmm. Like the things that you're seeing now are things that we started working on in April, right? And we just keep developing things and keep them going. But that auto population of data in the emails, that'll be ready in the next 30 days.
That's coming. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for
sharing,
right
Bart. Now you just have to do it manually.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I would say, although we put that stuff in there and in our own minds, we want them to really pay attention to it. But it's like that bottom line up front is look at speakers, yes or no, and this is what I do. Do you want me? Answer that as soon as possible so they can get their time back and I can get mine back. It's really what it comes down to in the beginning. Then once they answer, we can add a little bit more, get them on the phone. And now we can be our own personality and let them fall for us and say yes.
Just like dating. Same concept.
Just like dating. And then you tell them the fight score on the 3rd date, John, but you know this already. Okay. I have my hand up because I want Heather to share her screen. She has some issues trying to get in. I say, okay, stop. I don't know what to do. We'll settle it. Right
so
here.
Heather, you want to share your screen with us? Yep.
Can you see that?
It's just now coming up. And what's the issue?
So when I logged on this morning to do some follow-ups, it's not showing me anything.
Were you pitching originally from Bart's account or from your account?
I was going to do from mine. Do I have to be on his?
No, I'm saying in the past, prior to today.
Oh, today was the first day that I attempted.
Okay. Yeah. So
I just started.
your pitches, if you're following up with things that Bart sent, they're in Bart's account.
So I have to log on to Bart's account then.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a workaround I'm working on where we may be able to give permission where if Bart gave you permission to log into his, we may do that. So that it won't make you an admin, but he can give you permission to log into his account. That's something that we've been thinking through because this is going to be a persistent thing as speakers who are using it themselves hire staff members, and it's going to have these two different workstations that we need to fix. But that's what it is. You're just logged into your account, and the follow-ups have to be done from the account that it was originally set up from.
So
Okay.
can she click that arrow and then click my name?
Only you can do it. That's what I was saying. So when you go to team, click on your name, Heather, and go to team, right? And you see hers doesn't have the action button where yours, Bart, it allows you to delete her or log in to her account. She doesn't have those action buttons. But what I can do is ask, maybe we can get this done over the weekend. If we can give permission, if the admin can give permission to log in to like not a super ad, like you would be the super admin, and then they can give like a sub admin account underneath. So let us think through that. But I think that's Ange, can you put that in my notes to make sure to talk to Miguel about that since he works on the weekends, and maybe he can get this produced for us really quickly.
So for in the meantime, I need to give her my login.
Yeah, she needs to be able to be able to pitch. She would to follow up. She would have to log in through your account, right? Okay. But here's the other side of it. If you just want us to move your list and your mailbox over to her thing, we can do that as a one-time thing since this isn't set up. I can just have them migrate your inbox over to hers. So let me know if that's something you want to do, Bart. We can move those over.
And I'd still be able to operate the same way I'm doing it, right?
Yeah, you'll still be able to do your thing, but it'll only move them over one time. It won't, every new pitch that she sends will only be in her inbox. Okay, but let me ask you this. Why don't we do this, Heather? If you can send regular pitches today from your side, let us try to fix this admin login thing, Bart. That may not be that hard. So then on Monday, we may be able to get this running. Instead of putting in like a duct tape solution, we may be able to fix it officially. Is that fair?
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions? Nope.
John, I just saw your message, and it's something that Ron can address here. Okay. John asked if we could change his SpeakerHub email address from johndiggable@gmail to john@johndiggs. So what we're talking about is the difference between the sending.
The auto emails that are coming to me are going to Gmail, and I would much rather them go to my personal email.
The auto emails, which one?
Yeah, I'm getting some SpeakerHub.
Oh, like our emails when we send to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. So here's what you can do. You don't mind, you still want to log in the way that you're logging in, correct?
Yeah, that's fine. I just want your auto emails to come. Don't go to my Gmail.
So send your email address that you wanted to go to privately to Angela, and Carlos will change that for you in our CRM. Yeah,
she has.
Because they're not, those emails come from the software. They come from our marketing system.
I figured as much, but I wanted to group those together.
Yep. Bonnie, any other questions? What's going on? Good to see you. You're muted, Bonnie. Bonnie must have been out skiing this morning. Bonnie had on her ski goggles the other day, and today she got her skull cap. She's been out skiing this morning in Colorado.
Honestly, this timing of the day, I'm either out dog walking or taking care of horses outside. So I come in and I'm still. But a little elementary question. I haven't started building into my profile yet, and today's the day. And I didn't realize before that you can just add things to the list, and they'll just populate and hold in a bucket, right? And then I can go into them and
Yep.
and if I use AI, what I was just watching you guys talk about that, using AI, when those come up live and they're in the screen and ready to send out, are they editable right in that screen before I
Yep.
send it? Okay.
Yep, you can edit whatever you want. Nothing is permanent. We let you edit anything the AI sends because we don't think that AI is smarter than you, right? It doesn't know your personality. It is really, we designed the AI to really just be the shortcake, right?
Right. It's really, really helpful. And eventually I want to get to where Bart is, where I have a list of the things that I use and go off it. But I want to start with it because it sounds pretty good and I can
Yep.
alter it to what I need. And then when he showed us the list of podcasts, oh, this was John Diggs' list of podcasts that John had been on and had all the icons for those little podcasts. I need to build the speaker page in my website. I don't have a speaker site, but I have a whole website that I want to build the speaker specific page to. Can I copy those little icons and use them on the speaker page?
I'll
Try
show
to make
you
that
an
simple.
easy, here's a cool trick that we showed to, you've been on podcasts before, right, Bunny?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay, so I want to show you a trick that we like to use. I think it's pretty cool, right? So if you go to a page called Listen Notes, and we should probably build something like this, but Listen Notes does a great job of doing it. So I come in here and I type in Bonnie Brindle, if it lets me type. Bonnie Brindle, right? And I look for, so these are you, right?
Yeah.
So over on the left, there is a thing that says share search results. You see that? And if
Not
you
yet.
click on there, it's going to ask, how do you want to share it? And they actually have an embed where you can embed, you see this right here?
Oh.
I think that's the embed. Or did they take that off? Subscribe. They used to have an embed. They took the daggone thing off. Oh, that
Really?
sucks.
It does suck. I wouldn't trying to make this simpler than it is.
Oh man. But no, they used to have a thing that would embed it, right? And all you had to do was copy and paste it, and it would put the playlist directly into your you could put it directly, maybe it's because I'm logged in over here, because I use this too, right? So let me see. Maybe it'll do it now. Make sure I'm not a robot. Let's see, Bonnie Brindle. But yeah, you used to be able to take that and you could embed it into your site. So here's a share. Okay, there it is. Embed player. You see that?
Under share. Okay. Yep.
Right? And you can embed
Yep.
it into anything. And they used to have one that was a bigger embed where you could just embed this entire page.
Wow.
Right? And then all you had to do was embed that page into your website, and it was incredible because now it would just show this whole list of all the podcasts that you've been on.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. But
So,
so the way you're showing us, it would do with them one at a time.
well, one second. Let me try something. I'm going to try something. How do I save this? Let me save a few and see if it'll put it on the playlist. Nope. But yeah, they changed the feature. But it used to be a feature where you could, the same way that you see how they let you embed this episode?
Yeah.
You can embed you could embed a playlist at one point.
Okay. But
Right.
we can at least embed each episode using the share too.
Yep. Or if you just want to click on it and copy the photo from here,
Yeah.
from anywhere else, you can just do like open image in a new tab and save that image.
Yep.
And then,
Okay, that would
make it a clickable link.
and that would be good for the speaker page.
Yep. That would be great for that.
Okay. Oh,
But
that's
you can
really
see here,
helpful.
they have the embed here for that particular episode, but the it's playing, but it just doesn't, they don't have they used to have a player thing that worked better.
Mm.
right? But hey, Listen Notes is great. They have really cool features for like searching for podcasts, things of that sort. I think that they're a good company.
That is
Any other
wild.
questions, Bonnie? Was that
Not
helpful?
right now. Not right now. Thank you so much. It's very helpful. Everything everyone asks is so helpful. Thank you.
Cool.
Ron, we have a
John,
question
what's
in the
up?
chat. Oh,
Well, let me go to John. John's been up there for a little minute, then we'll come to the chat.
okay.
Okay, sorry about that. You lowered my hand, and I raised it again. Quick question. I took interest in what you said yesterday in yesterday's training about that we could submit articles to, I can't recall the name of the page, the training page, correct?
Still can't.
Yeah,
Who
you for a skill camp. Yep.
skill camp? Yes. Who would be the person to talk to about specs and such like on that?
Raquel, if you want to send it to support at SpeakerHub, Raquel
All right.
gets all those emails
All right.
and she will reply to you directly from her personal email. But support at SpeakerHub is the easiest one.
Okay.
Raquel runs the blog, her, Andrea, and Fabiani. They're the three people that are responsible for Skill Camp and all of our other blogs and article writing.
Okay. Great, Ron. Thanks.
She's the queen of that. That's, everything's gonna go through her before,
She's the queen, all right.
Yeah, no, she's the original first employee of SpeakerHub from 8 years ago. So,
Wow.
you know,
Cool.
I'll
John,
tell you a funny story. Raquel's a great lady. When we first bought SpeakerHub last year, she was like, I get to work for a team because she was independent, kind of doing it on her own, with the original owners, and there wasn't a lot of interaction. And when she joined our team at the time, I think it was maybe 7 or 8 of us, maybe more than that. Yeah, it was maybe 7 or 8 of us at the time, and then we added 6 more people 2 months after she came on, and now, including contractors, it's about 35 of us. But Raquel is the queen of SpeakerHub. Anything on that speaker page or anything, ask her, because I don't know. I promise you, I have no clue how any of that stuff works. On SpeakerHub Pro, I built that, so I know that. I know the system that everyone's been looking at. But anything dealing with articles or your speaker page, speaker profile, you got to ask Raquel. Support at speakerhub.com.
All right.
Any
and
other questions?
Raquel,
Yep.
a couple of things, Ron. Raquel has agreed to join us on Mondays. So Raquel is here Mondays. So that's a great day to get those questions answered. She was here last Monday. Her camera's going to be off, but she'll be here. Raquel will be
Yeah.
here. And then
Yeah.
John, will you let
she does 24-hour support, which means we work from about 7 in the morning to 7 at night, and then she takes over at 7 at night to 7 in the morning because she's in the Philippines. So we have just got to give you a little background of who you all are, what SpeakerHub is. We have 35 employees in 9 countries, right? So we have a development team for that speaker page. They're out of Poland. We have people in India that help us with different things. Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela. Ange is our U.S.-based employee. Belgium. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's like eight countries is where. Oh, in the Philippines, we didn't add Raquel. Oh, we're all around the world to try to make this thing feel like no matter where you are, somebody is listening to you, right? And 60% of our customers are not in the United States. So originally, SpeakerHub was based out of Belgium, and it was all focused on Europe and European opportunities and things of that sort. When we bought it in June, we made the transition and started to focus more on balancing it out a bit with US-based stuff, because the US is still the epicenter of public speaking. The most money is being paid in the US. More money is being paid in like the Western hemisphere for speaking than in the Eastern hemisphere. So any other questions or comments before we go back to John? Alicia, is this making sense?
It is. And I actually realized I didn't set up, like I said, I made the purchase and just let it sit. It was just sitting. So, when the gentleman was speaking about, I believe it was John, about the Speaker Hub, and it was setting it up, I went back into my email and saw a link and started setting it up. So it's making sense so far.
Perfect, perfect. John, what's your question? And then we're going to go into frameworks because a lot of you all weren't here to see the debut of frameworks yesterday. So I think it was only like 5 lifetime members that were still on the call when I got the text message saying that they had just turned it on. So I want to do a debut of frameworks for everyone. And then we'll be at the end of the day. We'll let you all go for the weekend. So John, what's your question?
That'd be great. One of them was framework, so I'm glad you're going to be covering that shortly. The question that I had for you is to be a top producer with SpeakerHub, what are the daily rituals you suggest that we have? I mean, like, what should we check first? Do we send pitches? Do we check follow-ups? I mean, logging into the system, what do you recommend that checklist or, daily checklist or process should be like for someone really trying to maximize the platform?
Yep. So the plan that you on, when this opens, gives you a certain number of pitches. And those pitches will be going up. We will be increasing the number of pitches and plans along with price increase that takes place later this afternoon. So right now, those who are on let me just show you the new pricing and it'll make sense, right? So speakerhub.com/pricing, right? So this is the price increase that happens today. If you're already a SpeakerHub customer, you won't have to deal with this at all, right? But if you're already a SpeakerHub customer, you will get the increase in the pitches. So your price will stay the same, but you will get double the amount of pitches. So if you're on a podcast plan at $49, you will go from 40 pitches to 100 pitches. If you're on the emerging plan, that's currently $199. It gives you 100 pitches. You will be upgraded to 200. And if you're on a $299 conference plan, you will go from 200 pitches to 400 pitches a month. Now, the logic behind that is that everybody doesn't always start off on the same path. They're still trying to discover how those pitches should go, and you may want to play around and not follow our formula 100%. So this gives you the extra to do a little bit more in the areas you want to focus in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So here's our basic formula for someone who is emerging or on the association plan. We think that at least 100 of your pitches should be distributed this way, meaning 2 podcasts a day, 3 associations a day, and then go do something else, right? Now, why is that? Because if you reach out to this many and you follow up with them, these are new pitches and you're following up over a year, you should end up on 48 podcasts and 12 speaking gigs. That's if you're an emerging speaker. It shouldn't take you more than 15 to 20 minutes a day. Don't go in there trying to listen to every episode of their podcast and read every abstract. You're going to drive yourself up the wall, right? If you're on the conference level, you should be reaching out to 5 conferences. That's where everybody focuses because everybody wants to do the conference thing. So it's a lot of competition, right? A lot of applications and competition. But in the meantime, you should be pitching your podcast, pitching your associations, and pitching your conferences simultaneously, right? Right now, your plan has 200 pitches in it, John. When we make the upgrade, those will go up to 400 pitches a month, but your price won't change.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that'll give you an extra 200 pitches to start trying to get on other things and do what you need to do.
So the first thing I need to do every day is to get in and pitch.
Pitch. Nothing happens until the first pitch in the baseball game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If the pitcher goes out to the mound and he just stands there, the game ain't started yet.
Right.
He can stand there for 20 minutes. The umpire will come out there and say, hey, dude, you're going to tell the coach, tell him to throw the ball or get off the mound.
Do I need to go to my speaker page for anything else anymore once it's set up? Or
Nope.
just everything is just in pro now?
That's already there. Everything is in pro.
Okay.
Right? So that we're about proactivity. We need you doing the work.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Waiting on someone to discover you is going to be a bad deal. You got to go out and get them. Growing up in East St. Louis, I lived there my whole life. Nobody ever knocked on my door and offered me a job. They never did. I had to go to the mall and apply for it. Right?
Right.
I had to go to the job, what was it, the unemployment office, and look on the job board in order to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come out handing out dreams. Same thing with speaking. Some people may find you if they run into you. They say, man, you look cool. You a speaker? You should be a speaker. They may do that, but that ain't how you're going to get the majority of your wins.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So let me address it from this perspective. Can you control how many people reach out to you on your speaker page?
No.
Can you control how many podcasts you reach out to on a daily basis?
Yes.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we call it the SpeakerHub Serenity Prayer. Right. Give me the courage. What is it? The wisdom. What is it? God? Give me the wisdom to accept the things. No, who know the prayer? What's the prayer? It's the same thing, but it applies to SpeakerHub.
Right.
God grant me the serenity.
The serenity to accept my speaker page, because I can't change that. Right? I can't change it. I gotta accept whoever finds me searching in SpeakerHub and in Google. But I need the courage to reach out to the podcast I want to be on and the stages I want to be on.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta have the wisdom to know the difference. There are a lot of people that are dreaming to be on a TEDx stage, but they've never applied or reached out to a TEDx host. You got to have the wisdom to know the difference. Ain't nobody giving you jack crap. Go get it. Is that fair, guys? So that's what the pro is for proactivity. Be proactive. Lead with what you want, and you'll be surprised what comes to you.
Never heard of jack crap before, but that's cool. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't want to get it blocked on YouTube. I mean, look, cussing keep my teeth white, so I ain't got a problem with saying it. I just don't want to get demonetized on YouTube. So I don't have a problem with all the 4-letter words. I know them all, right? God give me something, things like
Let you know.
We let Reverend AJ that in there. That was a good job.
You know, I ended show stuff on her face. The show that there was no such thing as the SpeakerHub Serenity Prayer. She's like, what?
But she's heard me talk about this before. It's actually, if you watch the Speaker Launch Formula, right? In the Speaker Launch Formula presentation, I cover that. Let me show you, because I know Bart thinking that I just made this up. But we actually cover this in the Speaker Launch Formula presentation that we did for Black Friday. And let me see if it's in here. Let me see if I can find it. It's a blue screen I put in here just so that Bart don't be talking crap. Where is it at? Flywheels one. It's somewhere in here. I know I covered it in here because I talk about it all the time. And it's that, here it is. Bam. Don't tell me what we ain't talked about. We show proof. We will not lie to you at SpeakerHub. If we say we did it, we did it. And this is proof that I had talked about this before, right? And I went into the same thing. Can you control the number of invites? No. Just like John said. Can you control your daily actions? Yes. And we show you the daily actions you need to take, right? Make sense, guys? So we give
Ron,
you
we
the
have
recipe.
a question.
Yep, go ahead.
We have a question from Julie. She said, my name is extremely common. Any suggestions to find my stuff? Her name is Julie Smith.
Yeah, where's Julie at? Julie, she in here?
Body Effects. Julie
okay,
Smith.
Julie, can you introduce yourself? We never met you before. She left. Oh, no, she's there. I see her right there. Julie, introduce
I'm
yourself.
here.
We want to
Sorry.
meet you.
Hi. We
have you
have
been on
met
before with us?
before in Gary's talk.
Okay. Okay. Yep,
I'm
good to
actually
see
good
you.
friends with Bonnie. So
Yep. Yeah, you signed
um,
up for a lifetime deal back in December. I remember.
I did.
Yep.
So I'm in this similar boat with Bonnie of just starting to go through the process and setting all my things up. I've been working as a physical therapist for a really long time and going into writing books to help educate people how to help themselves because I think that people can do many things for themselves long before they ever need somebody like me. I have started doing corporate wellness lunch and learns, bringing in techniques for businesses to help their employees, mental, emotional, attitude, physical, and moving into the space of change resilience coaching. So the only thing we know for sure is that change happens, and how you relate to that is a good sign of how you will be able to continue to adapt and change to it.
No, that makes sense. So I want to answer your question. And so with your lifetime account that you have, it comes with what we call a speaker profile, right? And let me share the screen with you and walk you through the value of the speaker profile. So if you don't have a speaker profile, go here and go to, this is for anyone, but Bonnie, Julie, you just come over to marketing tools and click on speaker page and click here.
So what page are you on?
Just on speakerhub.com.
Oh, just the general page.
Yep, the main page. And if you go to pricing here, and this is instructions directly for you because you've already paid for it. We just got to get it turned on once you sign up for this particular thing, right? So your lifetime account includes SpeakerHub Pro and the speaker page, but you come here and you create a page.
So
right?
what do I select off the main page?
Pricing at the top.
Oh, pricing. Got it. Okay.
Right. And then select marketing.
Okay.
And then pick the blue button that says free. You see that?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So that should let you sign up. Once you do that, I will upgrade you to gold. That includes a gold page for you also. Now, why is that important? Julie Smith. When someone types you in the Google under Julie Smith, brings up a lot of other people. Right? She put doctor in front of her name. Let me show you how it works with some of our other speakers that, let's pick Cheryl Schofield. Right? So, or we can use Meg Lewis. Let's use Meg Lewis. That's a bit more common. Meg Lewis. So we type in Meg Lewis and I click on images. Let me see if my Google will work. A bunch of different Meg Lewises, right? Blonde hair, no hair, but persons, different people, right?
Right.
So what we want to do, what we know is that when someone's looking for a speaker, they will put speaker at the back of their name, right? Because they'll say, well, which Meg Lewis? Well, let's put Meg Lewis speaker, right? And when we usually do this, this is a pretty famous lady, but there's a SpeakerHub page right here, right? For most people, we know, even when we look here, there it is. Her SpeakerHub page is the second image.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And the reason that happens is because of the number of visitors that we have on the page every day looking for speakers. So our SEO is really high.
Got it.
Usually will outrank 95% of our customers' personal web pages because you're not getting 200,000 people visiting, unique people visiting your web page on a monthly basis, and
Right.
5 million page views, right? So that
Right.
pushes us up in Google, and you get to take advantage of that by having your profile.
Cool. Okay, great.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's the answer to how do you, when you have a common name, you want to make sure that they find your speaker page.
Right.
Got it?
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions before I get into frameworks? This has been good, guys. This has been a good day. Great questions. People are making progress. Good to see people dusting those SpeakerHub off the shelf and getting to use it. Bonnie and Julie and everybody else, we got to get you on more stages this year. And Licia, she had to dust it off too. Elia, Cardis, any questions for you guys before we get into the frameworks? Cardis, how dope was it the other day when Sheila came on and confirmed all the things we were talking about with books? I don't know if you're listening, but
Yeah.
hopefully, how cool was that?
Oh, it was right on point. It was right on point. Actually, some of the things that she was saying, I actually gave a lunch and learn the week prior on emotional intelligence and inclusive leadership and stuff like that. So it was like she was talking about those things, and then I was just talking about it a week prior, and then I have book ideas now of how I can turn each one of those into a monetized book. So that's kind of my homework going forward.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, Sheila, and I think it's the video where I have on a red shirt. Sheila came in and talked for 30 minutes how she sold 40,000 books, 40,000 copies of her first book, and she's put out a bunch of other ones, but she's built this book funnel. She's an 80-year-old author out of Chicago that is still, kicking and screaming when it comes to getting her message out there, which is incredible. So what I want to do is, John, you said you had a question about frameworks. So I want to use you as kind of the demonstration person. Since you had a question, we can use your profile, which I know is already complete, and we can go ahead and show people how the frameworks work. So go ahead and share your screen, and then I'll kind of walk through it. So one of the things as a speaker that we have to learn is how do we develop our product, right? And for most of us, our product is our intellectual property. It's our thoughts, how we think about things. So go ahead and click on Branding Kit on the left. And then if you scroll down, you'll see frameworks right there. So, okay, so you've already walked through it. So 1 second here, right? So I'm gonna actually share my screen so that they can see it where you haven't walked through it already. So I'll take over here and just share this, because I want to show them, for those who haven't done it, what it looks like.
Yeah, thanks.
One of the tough things is, what do we say and how do we say it? So sometimes we don't know what our value prop is. We know what we talk about, but how do I really make me sound special when compared to somebody else with a similar name or a similar topic, right? But then if I'm going on a podcast and I want them to be able to take something away, or if I want to leave the audience at a live event with something to take away, I need to probably have some action steps. And most of you, if you've never had a speaker coach or someone to help you through these things, these are foreign concepts, but they're the things that all of your favorite speakers are doing. You just don't realize it because nobody's ever given you the framework on knowing how to do it. But guess what else you need? You need products. Well, what product do I use? And I talk on this topic. How do I turn this into an ebook, a webinar, a course, consulting, all of that? So we help you with that. But one of the worst things ever is to go and you think you're going to go hear a speaker, but you go hear a lecturer, right? And he sounds like a college professor and you go to sleep in the middle of his speech. Why? Because he didn't learn how to engage the audience, right? So we work with you on that. But guess what you really need? You really need a signature talk, right? And your signature talk needs to apply. You need 3 of them, in my opinion. You need one that talks about how to be a leader. using your same topic. You need a second one that talks about how to build skills or based on your topic. And a third one that talks about how to make or lose money or save money, grow a business. Right? Those are the 3 signature talks that we believe everybody should be giving based on your topic. But those signature talks need to be around your master framework. So let's start with that and you'll see how this works. So if I just go into my branding kit, I put in already what I do. I help thought leaders get booked on podcasts, paid speaking gigs, and press, right? And that's my bio. So our framework systems are going to take that into account when it develops my master framework. A lot of speakers are great motivators, but they don't have their own framework. They're more parrots than speakers. And the reason why I call them parrots is because you listen to their speech and it's full of quotes. It's like, wait a minute, I know, high five for reading all the books, dude. But if I wanted John Maxwell, I would have just hired him. If I just wanted his quotes, why don't you take all the things you've done and develop it into your own thing? Does that make sense? And that's not a knock on Maxwell Consultants. Ange is a Maxwell consultant. A lot of my friends are Maxwell consultants. But what I'm saying is eventually you got to develop your own stuff and synthesize all of the books you've read and turn it into one big thing that you can own. So to jumpstart that, we're going to give you a master framework or suggest one that you can use. So based on my description and my bio, it's now looking and writing my master framework. Why? Because I talk about getting people on podcasts and getting on stage. So it came up with the visibility framework for me. So what should a speaker do? They should share valuable insights. They should capture the audience interest. They should speak, influence, brand, impact, leverage, innovate, and target. Now, for me, that's a bit long, right? I would want one that's like 5 letters or something. But at least I got something to work with. Is that fair? And if I don't like it, I can click and edit it and put whatever I want to put in there. I can delete all this. It don't matter to me, right? Or I can use one of my pitches to rewrite it, right? So now it'll rewrite and it should come up with something different than visibility. But that could be my master framework. So since I wanted something smaller, it gave me amplify, meaning I need to amplify my message. Oh, now I can go teach this to speakers. How do they amplify or how do they become more visible? Do you see what the master framework does? Does this make sense? Any questions? Because this is killer. We spent 4 months writing prompts and testing prompts to get this right. So
Ron,
this,
how would you use this? I
right?
mean,
okay, let me give you a great example. You ever heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah. Kawasaki or whatever.
That's the framework. You ever heard of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
Mm-hmm.
That's a framework.
So you build a presentation around it, or?
You ever heard of the speaker flywheel?
Yeah. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
That's a framework, right? So as a speaker, most speakers on your topic, you got to have a master framework that is yours. If I hear somebody talk about the speaker flywheel, everybody should know they stole it from us. Does that make sense? If I talk about the MAP framework, that came from Kevin Hempstead. So that's called intellectual property, not ideas. If you just go and give a speech and just share your ideas and you don't have a framework for them to take away with them, they'll attribute your quotes to somebody else or back to the person you took them from. But they always will attribute your mastermind framework or MAP framework or the speaker flywheel to the person that introduced it to them. Is that fair? Right? So that's the master framework. And can we put in the notes that we need to reorder the way that the frameworks are listed? The master framework should be the top one. Ezekiel has the order reversed. Just on the navy blue card.
It would be awesome if you could put in a parameter that the master framework would be no more than
5 to 7 letters or something like that?
Yep, we actually have that. We limited it at 10. So, it chose that longer one, but yeah, we do have it limited to 10 letters. That is actually in the actual prompt. So
That's
Melissa,
great. This is
we gotta
brilliant.
hire you on our dev team because you got all the good ideas. I think we've implemented like at least 60% of everything you suggested to us over the last 2 months. So thank
Why
you for
not 100%, Ron?
because some of them are too far down the road. They too big. We could do the little things.
This is brilliant. I already have developed a number of different frameworks. Having these prompts already built in is just so brilliant. You guys are so far ahead of anything else that's out there. It's amazing.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So now that you have that master framework, you got to build your 3 talks. Remember, there's only been 3 talks ever given in history. How to be a leader, how to develop a skill, regardless of what that skill is, and how to make money. So now you need your signature talk. Hey, Sheila's back. Sheila's back. We spoke her up. Right? So now the signature talk is going to give you those 3 types of speeches you can give. So if I wanted to give a leadership speech, how do I empower people through storytelling? Well, actually, that's my skills one, right? But then the leading one is discover the secrets of becoming a leader who inspires. And then how to grow a business, how to use media. But I'm still talking about getting on podcast. You see how it took my main topic and gave me 3 different perspectives on it. Now, let me tell you why this is so cool. I practice this every day. I can get in and out of the flywheel no matter who I'm talking to. So if someone is saying, yo, man, I'm doing outbound and it's cool, let me show you the other side of it. Someone said, I'm going on podcast. Cool. Let me tell you about how you can write and you can do this. I've mastered my speaker flywheel framework to the point that I can get in and out of it from any conversation. Does that make sense? So what you'll do is you'll see this is your master framework, but you'll learn to add to this. So these may be 3 of your signature talks, but edit it and add 5 more if you want. Is this fair? This is amazing. This is a killer, especially for the new speaker that is struggling to switch to a different market or trying to expand the market that they're already talking. Right? So now I got my master framework. I got my signature talk. Probably need to make sure I'm going to be engaging when I talk about this. Right? Because I don't want to be in there putting people to sleep. I want to know how to go to different, welcome people to make it where they're not afraid to talk to me. Right? So here's my interactive engagement thing. So I can start, if I wanted to give an interactive talk, this talks to me about what steps I should do to engage with the audience. So like with me, here's what I did today. I knew I was going to talk about frameworks. First thing I do, I let everybody ask their questions. And if somebody brings up frameworks or a question about it, guess what? You're going to be my subject for today. Now we're interactive. Share your screen, John. Boom. Right? But I already know what I'm going to do once I get in. So it's just being able to work on this interaction is really important for new presenters. Why? Because your first couple of speaking gigs are not going to be TED Talks. They're going to be small association stages where you're going to have to interact with those 20 to 30 people in the audience, or you're going to watch them fall asleep in front of you. So this is a great way to work on that workshop style speech so that you can make those sales in order to make some money, right? So that's what that interaction is about. But now I have my master framework. I know what my signature talk is going to be. I know how to make it engaging and interactive. But now that they've interacted with me and they like me, I got to have some products. What's the product I'm going to present? Right? So let's see what comes up here. And oh my God, let me tell y'all a funny story. My daughter's first cousin, who's my niece, just got here from Venezuela and they are fighting in the other room already. I got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old in here wrestling and screaming at each other. And they're both little girls that don't know volume yet. So they just scream. And they're killing me. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, let me get back focused. But here's the product suggestions, Cardis. You see that? It said I should make an ebook. I can make a video series. I can make a guide with templates on how to pitch podcasts. I can create an online course. I can sell a printable planner. But then I can go in and edit and add whatever other stuff I want to do. I can do a community. You see what I mean? I can come in and edit this and add my own stuff. Is this helpful? Right? This is a big deal, right? So then now, here's my take action guide. This is really cool because when you're pitching event planners and podcasters, they kind of want, you got to kind of build around what are the next steps after they leave you, right? So you can have these actionable things. You don't have to use all of them, but it gives you some actionable next steps for the person to walk away with. Because they always say, hey, is there any parting thoughts you want to leave us with on the interview? Yeah, here's the basics what I would do. I think the best practices for elevating your public presence, number one, you got to build out a standout personal brand. Number two, connect authentically with the audiences, whether it's the people you already know on social media or new platforms. Number three, feel free sharing your story, your unique insights. Nobody can copy Cardis because there's only one Cardis. Even if I tried to steal his framework, it still wouldn't be him. So share your unique insights that you've learned over your life, right? And finally, just seek feedback and improvement on how you can get better. If you follow those 4 steps, you'll be better on stage, presenting yourself and as a leader, right? Now, you see, I didn't have to use all of them, but it just gives me some actionable things to tell the person to walk away with. This is money, right? And here's the cool thing. Now we're going to go back. Now you got all the stuff. Well, what's your value prop? If we had to take your bio and just sum it up in one line, because they're going to tell you what's the call to action. Well, look, are you a speaker looking to shine? That's what I do. You've heard me here for the last 45 minutes. I help you to get booked on podcasts and paid speaking gigs. We can help you to boost your visibility, grow your brand, and find the right platforms to share your message. Follow me at Ron Story Jr. or whatever. That's my quick 2-sentence value prop. I ain't got a whole day to go through it, but that's my call to action. Ron, what do you do? Well, I do this. Cardis, what do you do? I do this. Melissa, what do you do? I do this. These are the weapons or the tools that you need in the day-to-day life of a speaker that we just don't perfect. We know, we kind of ramble. I saw, I was on a presentation and someone was coaching another speaker. And they told the speaker, they said, hey, you're a professional speaker. Stop saying So the person kept saying And they had a chance to work with this particular speaker coach. And because they weren't familiar with their topic as they should have been, the coach said, I need to pick someone else that's better prepared. And hopefully me rejecting you now will get you better prepared for the next time, because you're calling yourself a professional, but this isn't a professional way to present your topic. So he just stopped it because they kept doing this thing. Right? Now, why is that important? If she had these frameworks, or if he had these frameworks, and they had been going over them and they had been practicing them over time, they would have gotten the coaching they need, but they would have saved that little bit of embarrassment, because that's on the internet forever now. Right? That's on YouTube forever. Does that make sense? So we gotta be ready so we don't have to get ready. And our job over at SpeakerHub is to give you all the tools to remove any barrier that would be placed in front of placed in front of an event planner for not picking you. Can I force you to memorize those tips? No, I can't, but I can give them to you. Now it's your responsibility. Can I force you to send the pictures? No, but I can give them to you and let them roll over every month and accumulate. But that's your responsibility at that point. I think Frameworks is a game changer for the speaking industry, especially now that we got all this Chat GPT and all these other confusing tools to have the CRM, AI to write your pitches, AI to help you develop your signature talks and your frameworks, a CRM to help you follow up, 4 million opportunities. You ain't got no excuse for not getting booked. Y'all should be the most popular speakers in the world because it's just on the other side of effort. Got it? Any questions about frameworks? There's a second part to it, but I won't go into it today because it's not live yet. But there's a second part that I'll just walk you through real quick. When you mark your thing as booked, the system will suggest the frameworks you should be using with that event. Right? Do they beat it out of you? I don't know what that means, but I read the rest of the conversation. I probably should go look at it.
Kevin said also joining Toastmasters group will help you lose the and you know. And she says, do they beat it out of you?
Yeah, I hope not. Because they're gonna have a bunch of
sorry, I let my middle school humor get in.
No, that's fine. Look,
okay.
I am the king of the inappropriate dad jokes. So, welcome to the family. Me and Bart, we got this tag team dad joke thing going, Any other questions or comments? Sheila, good to see you. Glad to see you back. I wanted to share what we were doing with the speaker frameworks, and that's our new product that we just launched yesterday. So any questions or comments?
Loving
Jasmine,
it so far. I know it's not completed, but I am loving it.
Yeah. So no, this is cool. Leroy, let me 1 second. I thought my next meeting was at 1:30, but it's actually at 1:15. Can you let Emily in when she gets here? Angela, and we'll see if she has customer support questions. We may be able to keep the meeting going without stopping. But I saw her note taker got rejected. But Leroy, you want to go ahead?
Yes, no, thank you. Amazing as always. And I must say that, well, just to amplify everything that you have been saying, this framework thing is key because I spent many months just to get 4 or 3 of what we know of direct access to in an instant. And I did use last night and went through mine. So it's really, really good. And it works perfectly with what I had already developed and have in mind. So that's amazing. And also, just to share some additional wins, some of the podcasts I pitched from last year, I had been following up on those and I've been closing episodes that are upcoming soon. So it works. It works.
No, that's cool. Leroy, look, I'm excited, man. I'm glad that you're getting booked. You're pushing forward. I think it's like 9:00 p.m. where Leroy is over in Europe right now. So to stay up and regularly join us, it means a lot to us that you're committed to pushing forward. Kevin, questions?
Yes, I have an issue trying to get testimonials. Like I have testimonials on WhatsApp. I don't know how to get them to SpeakerHub, and I have a demo reel. Don't know how to get that to SpeakerHub, if that's even a thing. I have lots of stuff. Don't know how to get it to SpeakerHub.
Do you have a SpeakerHub profile already set up? Your speaker page?
Not sure. I think I do.
Yep. So there's an easy way for me to find out. Come over here and go search for Kevin Hempstead. And let's see what comes up.
Kevin P. Hempstead, because there's 4 other ones.
Okay. Well, let's see. There's 0 in our SpeakerHub directory, so.
Okay, so then it's not set up.
So come over here and then click on sign up, right? And it's going to let you sign up right here. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So go ahead and click sign up. It'll let you go ahead and sign up. And then since you are a lifetime member, been with us for 3 years or so, we will get you upgraded to gold. Here's the great thing about being lifetime with SpeakerHub. You with us for life. So you get all of the upgrades, right? Kevin has been with us for 3 years or so, and he's every time he was with us with PitchDB, but because he was a lifetime member with me, he get all the upgrades of everything that we do. So no, this has been great, guys. I'm super duper excited. Melissa, question?
Yeah, a quick question. Is there a quick way to get from inside SpeakerHub Pro over to our SpeakerHub profile?
No, not at this point, because both systems are written in 2 different languages. You remember we bought SpeakerHub and it's written in an old language called Drupal, right? And then SpeakerHub Pro is in a different programming language, so they don't connect yet. That's why we're rebuilding the entire thing so that they will be able, we'll have what they call single sign-on. When you sign in, that's why we forced everybody to Google, so that when you sign in with Google, you can sign into both at the same time, right? But that's
So in other
coming
words-
in.
Okay, so eventually we will be able to click back and forth.
Yep. There'll
Okay.
be a link inside of it, and you'll be able, and the data will be interchangeable.
Oh, great.
Also. So, yep. So when you go on a podcast, and that podcast will show up in your speaker profile. Like you've already,
Amazing.
yeah, it's
amazing.
The integration is going to be incredible. But
That's fantastic, because I keep losing track of my SpeakerHub. I haven't finished filling out my SpeakerHub profile because I have other things that are just have been higher priorities for me right now, because I show up really high in Google at the moment. So I keep losing track of my
So here's the way that you log in. When you come to the home page and you click on log in, we're going to ask, what do you want to log into? If you see that. The page.
Okay, so I can just log in there. Okay, great.
Yep. So
thank you.
Yep, it's on the main home page. When you click login, it's going to ask you, do you want to log in Pro or to the page?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Did Emily ever join us? Nope. She in the waiting room? Nope. Okay, cool. Any other comments, feedback? I'm always curious. A lot of these are based on ideas from you guys. We came up with the frameworks thing because people keep asking, do you do speech coaching? I'm like, nope, that's not what I do. I know how to use ChatGPT. So that's what we did. We used ChatGPT. So we started working on this for, I think maybe April of last year is when we came up with the frameworks idea before we even owned SpeakerHub. This is going to be a feature inside of
PitchDB.
PitchDB. Actually, you know what? Let me show y'all where we started. Started from the bottom, now we're here. I want to show y'all this because I think sometimes we kind of gloss over like what we do, and I want to show you all this because it's a big freaking deal to me. 1 second. PitchDB design is what I want to go to. All right. And I want to show you the original ideas from a long time. I'm talking about like a long time ago, because I think it helps for you all for us to demonstrate the process of persistence, right? So if you look here, the last time we even went in this app design thing was June 2024, right? So you can see the original design that Maria put together of frameworks and how it materialized into what you're seeing now. So your initial speech won't be perfect. You know, I'm sure the 7 habits probably started off as 3 habits, and then he developed them up into 7 over time, right? So we map out everything we're trying to do in the application from every screen. She builds out every single screen. So we get to see what's going to be there, what we're thinking about. And frameworks started off looking like this, right? And it started off where you could put your own acronyms. And then what are the interview questions? And then how do you turn that into YouTube video scripts? And then LinkedIn posts, and then writing emails. And we're like, dude, we don't have an easy way to make a post on LinkedIn, so we don't need to do that. And we don't have a video app just yet or anything like that. So Let's not do that. And this is way more advanced. They don't have the basics of a speech. So even though we developed a lot of these things, and you still see the DNA of it, we changed what they would be about. So the master framework was originally called acronyms, right? And we just kept massaging it until we got it right. And then we had interview questions. Well, interview questions turned into interaction points or takeaways that prompt, right? And video scripts. Well, that's really your how do you say what you say in the master framework, and how do you teach it? So whether you're doing a video or an interview, it's still the same thing. And then your podcast pitch, I think this is outside. This is we get into pitching now. So that's more on the templates thing. Now, let me share something because I know we talked about it. I want to share this to show you kind of what we're thinking about. Someone was asking, was that John? That was John asking about the insertions, right? That was John talking about that, right? With the, I can't remember, but John was talking about insertions of insertion of variables, variable insertion automatically, right? I wanted to show that, but I don't think we'll be able to. But I can show you this, right? So this is what the new SpeakerHub profile, the inside, that experts tab that you all are in now, that's kind of blank, that's turning into this. But we can't really put episodes if you ain't been on no podcast, right? We can't put testimonials until we had speaker QR. Does that make sense? So this is what the experts tab is designed to be already, but we only got the top part done. We don't have all of it ready yet because we don't have all the tools to make that work. Does that make sense? Very soon. We got the QR in to get the testimonials. We already can mark you, mark the podcast that you've been on. So this is the future of that experts tab that right now just shows what you've done. But we can show your speaker topics, all of that. But we needed the frameworks to do it. Dude, this is going to be bananas. Your ability to share. You know how people can embed a YouTube video? You'll be able to embed your SpeakerHub profile with your testimonials into LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever. That's what we're building here. So this whole little slide here will be embeddable. But that's it, guys. I mean, that's where we're going. This is the future. We have the responsibility to have a long vision and short steps, right? Most people have short vision and long steps. I want to do it tomorrow. Nah, if you're gonna be a speaker, you're gonna be speaking for the rest of your life. So you may as well just accept that you got to eat this poop sandwich and get better. You know, Bart, what's going on, man?
Yeah, no question. I like how that speaker page can eventually, well, it's in addition to your speaker reel. I mean, after a while you start putting stuff on there, then that's your reel. You know, if someone builds that out before, you know, the total reel that they desire, and more importantly, you don't have to keep re-editing your reel as you do more and more events because that replaces it. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. We're building, what we're trying to do is we want to be the Google suite or Microsoft for speakers, right? And here's the problem with startups. So startup companies, software companies have like two main issues. Either the person did something really cool and they're making a bunch of money from it, so they don't ever update it because they don't want to break it. Does that make sense? Or they build something really cool, they raise a bunch of money, but the investors who gave them the money are going to have them thinking short-sighted, where they're going to have to be thinking, how do we grow as fast as possible? Because we got to sell this thing in a couple years to get my investors' money back. Well, this mine. I ain't got no investors. I put up all the money for this, right? I can have the long-term vision without all of the pressure of what my investors are thinking and what, they don't like me anymore because I curse sometimes and they want to get a more friendly, internationally friendly person out front. Nah, that's me. Y'all got me. You stuck with me, right? But then I can talk about things from a personal standpoint because this just isn't my job. I mean, most CEOs of companies haven't invested anything in the company. They were just hired to run the company. But I've put my blood, sweat, tears, and dollars into this thing. So I have a bigger vested outcome to make sure that the product is good because it's a reflection of me. Kevin remembers when it was terrible. Andrew remembers the original PitchDB years ago when it was, man, you couldn't even get the pages to open. Like we were on the cheapest server that they had. It was like $19 a month. And that thing was spinning like you wouldn't imagine.
It wasn't terrible. It was just harder to navigate.
Yeah, it's called terrible. You see him being politically correct. He trying to be nice, but we're growing up. But that's what we all go through, right? We all go through this growing up stage, right? But long vision, short steps, guys. Long vision, short steps. Yeah. Any other questions as we close out?
Bonnie, you have a question in the chat? Do you want to ask? I think it would be good to get feedback.
Thanks. Hi. Yeah, I need to build slideshows to go. I'm actually doing my first association next week. I need to build slideshows for these things. And thank you, Bart. Google Slides or PowerPoint? Do these folks who hire us have a preference? Because Google's always so much easier, but I don't know what to do there. So any opinions, please?
Yep. I'm going to show you a trick. Let me see if my
You got all the
got a couple
tricks.
of minutes. Yeah, because look. I'm telling you, I have bootstrapped the world. So let me see if I can show you this really quickly. And Janique, if you want to comment on this before I go into what I'm about to show?
Ron, one of the things I just wanted to share was one of my favorite books is called The Company of One. And what you were sharing is the exact model of how the Company of One operates. That's like my Bible. And you have taken it to a whole another level. And that's
got
what
that
I
book.
see. Yep.
What do they say? You will know them by their fruits, right? Right. So I got the one with the fish by Jarvis. Paul Jarvis. This is what I got. So they got these like summaries, but this is the one I got right here. Right. Right. So let me show you what I would do. So the first thing you're going to do, Bonnie, is you got frameworks, right? You muted. You got to unmute, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to use it yet, but yes.
You got frameworks, right? So let me show you. So now you come over and let's say you have your master framework, but you're going to go give a talk. So the topic of your talk, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this signature talk framework and we're going to do the one on skill building for that association. And then I'm going to come into ChatGPT and watch what I'm going to do. I have a speech to do for a local association. This is, no, I need to create a talk outline and slide show. Actually, let's do this. I need to create a talk outline. Let's just start there. Boom. Here is the topic. Boom. And I paste my framework in, right? Now, you may already have your outline, but in this case, I don't have an outline for this. So I'm showing the person who doesn't already have the outline as the anxiety avenger. They're starting from scratch with this talk. So I have a speech to do at a local association. I need to create a talk outline. Here's the topic. Boom. So now ChatGPT is going to write my outline. And it's going to give me my timing. Right? Now, it can't make the speech for me, but it can outline the speech for me. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So now there's my outline.
That just made my life easier.
Okay. Now, watch this. Create my slideshow.
Dang.
So this is way number one to get the slides.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a bonus way also. So while this is working in the background, I'm going to take this. Let's see. What version is this? 4. Oh, okay. This is taking too long.
Not as long as I would take.
No, we're going to do it faster. I'm just going to go to regular. See, there we go.
Slide deck for your
Let's see.
speech.
Now, while that's doing that, I'm just going to take this thing here. I'm going to take this outline and watch this because that's going to take too long. So
Okay.
there is an app called Google Docs, right? And let me open up this thing here, new. I just want a blank doc. Why are they giving me a...
It's right there.
So what I can do is I can click here and I paste my thing here. You see that?
Yeah.
Make sense? There's an
Yeah.
extension that is super cool called Docs to Slides by Alice Keeler.
Holy cow.
So now all I do is I click Docs to Slides and it's going to open up on the right side over here in a moment. And give it a second and it's created all of my slides. Now all I got to do is put a background behind it. Does that make sense?
Yes. It makes a lot of sense.
So now I just come over and I click theme and I want to use this theme. Boom. Now I just got to edit. Right? So that's what I would do. Well, not what I would do. That's what I do. But ChatGPT made a slide presentation for you. Right?
Let's see.
So I'm going to open this up. It's going to download it here. And it's going to open it in PowerPoint. So I'm going to go over here to slides and open it.
Witchcraft. That's right, Leroy.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, we try to show you what we're already doing. So this is what ChatGPT put together. They took all the edits out, like the timing. Remember mine had all the timing, like in 3 minutes, say this, say that. It removed all of that because it knows it's kind of following the 10 slides or less pitch deck type of thing. But the other one gave you a slide for each topic, 40 slides.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But it's whichever one you want. Some people wanted, hey, look, I'm just going to come here and they'll animate these bullet points so that all the bullet points don't show up at the same time. So one slide feels like 4.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I need to
So
get
that's
good
the
at that.
power of frameworks. You can take your framework or your topic, put it over into ChatGPT, tell them to do the outline for you. Right? Now, watch this. What's the name of the organization you're going to speak at?
Wheat Ridge Business Association.
Okay. So I'm going to customize this a bit to kind of, right, for a local insurance association. I'm going to change it to that, right?
Okay.
I want to create a industry talk outline, industry specific talk outline on this topic. So that's my generic topic, but I want to customize it for insurance agents. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this is going back to what AJ talked about, customizing your things for your audience. Now look at what they did. It adjusted the topic and it's giving me things that apply to that audience that I'm talking to. It's still my same speech, but it's already adjusted it for me. So now my slides will be industry specific. Last week, I talked about how Nike lost the deal with Steph Curry because they showed him a slide that had Kevin Durant's name on it. So imagine going talking to the insurance association, making realtor association references. They don't feel it's personal.
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes total sense.
There it is.
That's a great foundation and for the foundation for the slideshow, be able to adjust it. That's
So
cool.
here's the prompt. Right? Let me put this in here. And there's the prompt for anyone to use. You can change the association to whatever you want it to be, but I have to do a speech for such and such. I need to create an industry specific topic. Here's the topic. Industry specific outline. Here's the topic. Janika, comment? Janika, did you have, I saw your hand was up for a second. That was old. Okay. All right. Yeah, guys, this was good, man. This was a great day. I'm tired. Hopefully you all have a great weekend. My next meeting starts in 6 minutes, so I'm gonna go refill my empty cup of Gatorade and get on to the next one. We got to keep going, man. We got some cool stuff we're working on. Super duper excited about it. You are in the right place. You made the right investment. In the words of Jim Harbaugh, who's got it better than us? Nobody.
I know I'm in the best place. I just learned to do a slide deck. Oh my gosh. Hallelujah. That's what I'm saying. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, that's right.
So the name of that
my life. Now I got to do the thing.
Let me put the add-on, that extension. Let me show you how to do that real quick so you know. Real quick while we're here, because you're gonna be like, "What? You had this thing? I ain't got that in mind." When you go to extensions, there's add-ons, and then you can go to this thing that says "Get add-ons." Do you see that? So in your Google Docs, there's a thing like they got like an app store. Does that make sense? So when you go in the app store, it's going to bring up the app store here, and you can type Doc to Slides by Alice Keeler. You see that? There it is. Go ahead and add it. It's free. 575,000 people use it. So it's already verified. All right? So there you go. Once you add it, it'll be installed. I can't do it because it's already installed on mine, but that's what I use. And then you can like donate her $5. She has like this one for $5 upgrade. I don't know what the upgrade does. I tried, and I upgraded, but I don't know what I got. So, but she saved me so much time. I just gave her the $5 anyway, but I don't know what I got for the $5. Make
Well,
sense?
and that upgrade thing, you can click on it and see what the features are. So I'll check it out. Thank you so much.
Yep. All right, guys. I'll let y'all go. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later.
Weekend. Take care. Bye, Ron. Bye, Angela. Peace.